Hey guys, Geeky here and welcome to Let's Talk Gaming. Last week we had Vicstar, so don't forget there's a link description to that. You can go back and check that out. But the episode went down so well that I'm definitely decided to continue it on. And this week I've got someone who is less known, but definitely someone you should go and check out. There'll be a link description to him as well. His name is Edson.
Hello, and yeah, it's quite bad. I've got to live up to Vicstar's reputation now. So
people are going to be watching this. Yeah, you got big footsteps to follow him. But
yeah,
no, just because you're not as big as him doesn't mean your content isn't just as good and isn't someone who's worthy of going to subscribe to. So yeah, as I said, link description, go and check him out. But same sort of questions because everyone has a different answer. So hopefully you can bring a different side to it that Vic didn't. So yeah, let's start near the beginning. What was your sort of first gaming moment, first console, etc., things like that?
The first thing I can actually remember is actually going to my granddad's. They had a Sega Mega Drive. Okay. And I can't remember what it was, a FIFA game.
Right.
And they had FIFA and Sonic. They were the two games I remember playing specifically.
Classic games.
And at the time we didn't have anything. So every time I went over there, I always had the console out, always playing it.
Yeah.
And it was just, I can't remember which Sonic it was. I think it was the first one.
Okay.
And I can't remember what FIFA it was, but I just remember those two games specifically, always playing them every time I went round for like a year or so. And then we eventually got into, I think we got our first ever one was like me and my brother. We had the PlayStation 1. And then from there we went like PS2, Xbox, and we just got them all from there on.
Okay, so you didn't you didn't stick to sort of one family, you didn't stick to just PlayStation, you switched then after PS2? And...
No, I sort of switched over to Xbox, but specifically for Halo, and then that's what sort of kept me with the Xbox throughout the rest of it. And I just stuck with it from there, really.
Fair enough, some humble beginnings. So Vic went on about, sort of going into Pokemon a bit. Did you play Pokemon at all or anything like that?
Yeah, I played that. Like, they were that was like the only handheld sort of games that I played. I remember I had a few on the Game Boy, but I can't remember what they were. They were quite bad games. Like, it was the only ones that I really played for a long time and put some time into was Pokemon. That was, I think, the Red and Gold. They were the two that I played.
Okay, yeah, because it was sort of like Pokemon's the main game and everyone had it for Pokemon, but then you had some sort of side games that maybe your parents had bought for you or something like that.
I had like a few side games, but I can't remember playing them that much. It was all about the Pokemon on the Game Boy.
Yeah. Oh, little side note, because I had like one of the Game Boys when I was sort of quite young, is that one of the games that my mum bought for me with it was Bob the Builder. I had a Bob the Builder Game Boy game.
Really?
Yeah, and I clearly
remember. I didn't
even
know they had one.
Yeah, they did, and I clearly remember to this day that game.
Oh my god.
So yeah, if you remember that, if you had that as well, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I've never ever bumped into one that had that game.
I want to try that game. I don't even know what you would do.
I still had it up until, actually, I moved to uni, and before then, we packed up a load of things. I sold a lot of things, and one of the things I sold was a Game Boy, and at this time, I think I didn't have anything. I had a Game Boy Color, which I sold with some games that I had left, and I think Bob the Builder was one of them. And someone paid, like, I think it was, like, 40, 50 quid for that and some games. I was really surprised. Yeah, there was people fighting over it on eBay for it, honestly. I couldn't believe it, but there we are.
I've still got mine somewhere.
Yeah, I just need to clear the space. My mum was like, what are you doing with it? And so, fine, I'll get rid of it. So there we are. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so what got you into creating gaming content? We know what got you into gaming, but what actually got you into creating content that you do now?
I think it was specifically like the thing that I found out about YouTube from was I remember playing Modern Warfare 2 and I could not get a nuke to save my life.
Was that your first? Was that your first shooter?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't my first shooter, but I played loads before. But,
okay.
Like I remember I couldn't get a nuke, and I had no idea how to get that many kills. Okay. And then I went on YouTube and actually searched, and I think I found Hutch.
Oh yes.
And it was I remember the map as well. It was Favela. And he basically runs down what he does on one side of a domination map when he starts there. And basically just explain, like he runs down like what he does, how he gets the kills, where he moves to, and everything. And I copied that exact route, and that's how I got my first thing. And then from then on, that's where I found like how I found out about machinima, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh god.
So yeah, that's what sort of like got me into that, and then ever since then I've always wanted to, and it's just finally came down like a couple of years ago to actually finding the time to actually do it.
Yeah. I just, yeah, it just brings me back to the days when Machinima were this big company that everyone wanted to be a part of, and if you were part of Machinima, you had made it in YouTube and you'd done really well, and it's what everyone wanted to sort of be. And I feel like now YouTube's lost that sort of sense of achievement that it once had. In you know what I mean? It used to be a real way of grading yourself, and I think it's now lost that.
It really did, and it's like, and now, like you say, there's so many people now that it's like that sense of achievement is sort of gone.
Honestly,
well, it's not gone, but it's just sort of like,
I get
I don't know.
So many, and this is not me trying to brag at it, because I'd rather not have them at all. But I get so many people message me asking me to join these networks I've never heard of, and I'm like, I'm already with RPM as it is.
I had 2 last week.
Yeah, I guess it's like I've never even. You've got 9 subscribers, man. It's just it's just not going to go well. But there we are. Anyway, yeah. So you've been doing this for a little while then.
Yeah, like just over a year now.
Okay. So, what would you say has been like your favourite? Maybe you could expand this. Be your favourite gaming moment at all. What's been your favourite moment? It could be a YouTube moment. It could be a gaming moment. I'm
not too sure really. It's just like there's no like specific. It's just,
it is difficult to choose. I know.
Yeah, like an actual like I don't know. Just after like it was like 1 year of it. I don't know, it's just thinking back to thinking that it's been like a full year, and like at that point I was like, wow, that's like a year of it gone, and I can't believe it, like it's lasted that long as well. Yeah,
I noticed it. Yeah, I completely agree.
That's probably like one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
just those sort of like milestones and stuff.
Yeah, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is something I never imagined." Well. Yeah, this is something I never imagined happening, but there we are. So yeah.
Yeah, there's those few days that you can actually remember.
Yeah. There are. So anyone? I know you mentioned Hutch, and he's definitely a big idol to a lot of people. Anyone you really idol on YouTube, especially maybe when it comes to gaming things like that. Anyone you really look up to, and sort of, or maybe someone who inspired you.
Probably. I think now. I know you've heard of Yogscast.
Yes, of course.
Now, Martin in the Little One.
Yep.
You've heard of him, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, he actually went to the same college as me.
Oh, right, okay.
And he did the same university course. He was like 2 years above me.
Yeah.
And he specialised in like radio. And I think at the time, he was making his first parody.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually saw that before it was out.
Okay.
Like he came in and showed like one of the twos, and he played it on the big screen and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like he's probably someone that, like, because I saw him at that stage.
Exactly.
Went and checked out his channel. He's someone that I've actually like looked at and followed throughout his, like, because I'd subscribed to him before it even started. Like sort of like getting big or anything. So that's like I've followed him the whole way, and that's one that I've always like looked up at.
No, they are. You know, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is, and just to see him go from like the nice lad that he was at university, he hasn't changed one bit.
Yeah, it's always good to see.
Like, and go to where he is now, and it's like I can't think of anyone that I'd rather it happen to. Really.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, he's like a massive inspiration for me.
Yeah, and becoming part of the Ozcast gives a boost to anyone's YouTube, YouTube career, if you want to call it. Right, okay, so yeah, definitely a really inspirational person. What's your most anticipated game in the next year? There's so much coming out. I know we talked Titanfall a little bit before recording.
I would say Titanfall, but I know Vicstar said that, and it is out in like a few weeks.
Yeah, 14th of March.
Yeah, I would say probably the two that I'm really looking forward to are the Ubisoft ones, Watch Dogs and The Division. Now I know they've both been like pushed back.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next one coming out is Watch Dogs.
Yes, it is.
Very looking forward to that. Simply because like you can, I don't know, it reminds me of GTA, but then you can sort of like you can hop into your friend's world, mess it up, and it's just watching the gameplay from that. It's a new style of game, which is something that like people have been struggling with, but a few companies have been doing, like Titanfall. Yeah, that's a brand new shooter. This Watch Dogs is a brand new sort of like open world game. So that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to, and obviously the Division, but that's going to be 2015, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're realizing. Well, I think they're realizing they've got a lot of games out, and also that the Division is a very, very complex game that probably needs a lot of fine tuning to get it to work right. But yeah.
Exactly, and also they love to delay their games. They've always delayed them.
Yes.
Like they just delay every single. I think they were delayed Far Cry as well multiple times.
I think so. Yeah, they do like doing that.
Why, I don't know why they can't just tell us the exact release date. Just like, we don't know, 3 or 4 years time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always the way. But yeah, no, Watch Dogs definitely. But the Division is a game I'm very much excited for, and I know a few people who are also excited about that, so it should be some good games. Yeah, Ubisoft, sorry, are doing a really good job of creating some classic games at the moment.
They seem to, like, the last few years like the big conferences, they've been like E3, they've released like a big name title, like done a massive reveal trailer at the end of their conference. Yeah, and obviously like it was the Division, then the E3 before it was Watch Dogs, then before that it was Far Cry. So they're just working on some huge titles at the minute. So
yeah, definitely becoming one of the stronger publishers at the moment.
Definitely, yeah.
Right, okay, so yeah, we're looking at now. We've looked at the past. What about the future? Where do you see gaming going in the future? What do you see being a real strong point in the next 5 years, let's say?
I really want to see a game like Skyrim online or something like that. Some sort of like massive online game that's also on the consoles, like really take off. Yeah. That would be something that, like, I just want like a massive multiplayer game to take off on the consoles. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's going to happen, but that's something I'd really like to see in console gaming.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of technology, any technology you've maybe seen glimpses of, things like that you'd really like to see take off?
Not really. Like obviously, like recently, like the whole Kinect thing, the motion sensors and all that sort of thing's been taken off, but I don't really think it has been taken off. So. And it's something that's never really interested me. I do want just to hold a controller and play a game.
True. And yesterday it was announced that the Oculus Rift are having the guys behind the Oculus Rift are having issues with materials for making even the development kit. So they've only got like a couple left of that, and once that's out, that's it. But they're really trying to work hard to find new materials that they can use instead of. But it's not good signs for them at the moment. They're in sort of dodgy territories. So yeah, I know what you're saying, but yeah. I suppose you can never really predict these things. Anything can happen.
Exactly, yeah.
It's only the companies themselves that know what's going to happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so yeah. We'll quickly talk about... we talked about Call of Duty, where we think that going with Vic Star. You can say any little things on that if you would like. But I did want to talk to you about Titanfall very quickly as well. Do you see Titanfall completely overrunning Call of Duty?
I don't see it overrunning it, but I do see it sort of like, I don't know, taking... It's definitely going to take a foothold. It's much like what Halo did. But I don't see it overrunning it simply because it's not on the PS4, is it?
No, not. But the developers have said this was sort of a contract that they had with Microsoft just for this sort of game. What I reckon happened is, Respawn were in a position where they didn't have a lot of money or funding, and they probably went to Microsoft. And Microsoft came to them and went, "Look, we like your game. We'll give you the server," because they're running on Microsoft servers. So we'll give you the servers. You make the game, only for this. But they are saying that they are planning on. Well, they're hoping to have it on PS4 with the next game. It's just a sort of one game only thing at the moment, but we can see how that goes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can't see it overrunning like Call of Duty until they've got a game that is on both consoles,
cross-platform,
regardless of what it is. It just won't happen, I don't think. Also with like the new Call of Duty, with it being developed by the third publisher, is it Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer, yes, it is.
Yeah, like that is now going to be. Like they've got a lot of interest because, especially like with competitive being like one of the main things in Call of Duty now, that's like really grown and it's really become like the staple of Call of Duty. Like rather than what it used to be like a casual shooter, now it is a very competitive game. So if they can take that on, like sort of what Black Ops 2 did, then I could definitely see them like sort of revitalising the Call of Duty series.
True, yeah, I do see with you. And Sledgehammer Games have one of the best opportunities to reinvent the franchise because they've got... No one's expecting anything for them. They've got no zombies or they've got no feel of gameplay that people are expecting from them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. They've got no sort of like expectations from previous games or like the feel of the way it plays in previous games to live up to, so they can just completely start fresh.
Yeah, and go where they want to go with it obviously within reason, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm sort of waiting, personally, I'm waiting to see what they do with it, and if they don't do anything which I feel is sort of good enough, or feel like they're taking it as where they should have, or do you know what I mean? If they feel they've done something fresh or done something, you know, that really revitalised the series, then I'm maybe starting to have a little bit of
yeah, that's the thing, like,
uneasiness about how it's going to go.
I was really looking forward to the Treyarch having go at it, and I still will, like, after Sledgehammer have done. But I think if by the time Sledgehammer and Treyarch have had their next two goes at it, well, their next go at it, if nothing, and
they've had
really,
an extra year than they normally have, so they've got no excuses.
But if it rolls around to Activision's turn in 3 years' time and it's still not been revitalised, I think that's about it. It's going to be done.
Yeah, definitely. So no pressure, developers. No pressure.
No pressure. You've only got 2 years left.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for joining me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smack that like button. Don't forget to go and check out his channel. Hi, my name is Edson. The link will be in the description. You'll find it very, very easily. You can leave any feedback in the comment section down below. And if you do want any larger YouTubers to feature on the show, then send this video to them by all means. And if they contact me, then we'll get them on the show. But it's more sort of getting in touch with them is an issue at the moment, as you can imagine, with lots of people trying to get them to do other things with them. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. As always, drink tea and game on.